Difference between JavaScript and TypeScript. This is one of the core questions that most of the engineers joining new to the industry, also JavaScript engineers who are transitioning to TypeScript asking. So let's look at the question in a different way. The right question to ask, guys, how we can use TypeScript to improve our JavaScript code. Because in essence, TypeScript is kind of like an extension to JavaScript. So if we get this point right, it will be so much easier to understand the difference between JavaScript and TypeScript in a productive way that we can use from the day one or this right moment after we going through this video. So to do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this code example to illustrate, to answer your question, the difference between JavaScript and TypeScript. And the simple answer is, if you're in a hurry, is pretty much improved version of your JavaScript code. So how we can improve that? We're gonna add the type information using TypeScript new extra syntax. So once we add that extra syntax, or so to say new TypeScript language keywords, what we get? Guys, we get more maintainable code because the TypeScript will help us our code to understand the type of any variable, any parameters, any return type, extra information, so extra intelligence. So with this new intelligence we get from TypeScript, we can work on more large-scale project with large teams. Because if you change something in your code, if it's affecting other part of code, in another module, in another class file, or anywhere, that will be flagged by TypeScript and give us a feedback. Isn't it amazing, guys? So guys, in this code example, we have an object, a variable, and we have tagged it as any type. So in TypeScript, if you tag it as any time, it's pretty much you are taking the control, and what you see is pretty much the behavior of JavaScript. So as you can see here, on your left we have the TypeScript editor, on our right we have the compiled version or our favorite JavaScript code. But do we see any big difference? We only see that we have tagged object with any type, which eventually erased by the compiler. But if you see in the TypeScript editor, we don't see any complaints or feedback from TypeScript. So it's pretty much like JavaScript. And you can see the disadvantage of not having feedback because in line 5, 6, and 7, we are doing things that shouldn't have done with the object variable. The foo function is not there, bar property is not there, and also we are assigning a string to hello, but initially, we want it to be an object. So if we had this JavaScript code in a production or an application, we definitely gonna hit errors during runtime. And that is a disadvantage, guys, because we don't see any feedback until the runtime. So if you use TypeScript, giving the type information, we have the advantage of seeing these errors at compile time while we are working on the editor. So guys, so now we have a solid statement to answer what's the difference between JavaScript and TypeScript. It's pretty much we do some extra minimal effort to get a great value at compile time. So we can minimize loads of mistakes-based runtime errors. To get the compile time feedback, only thing we have to do in this TypeScript code is just remove any type. So let's do that, guys. So once we remove this any type, then TypeScript starts to give us the feedback. So let's see what the feedback is. Food does not exist on type X bar, and object is string is not assignable type X number object. So guys, what we can see is here, now TypeScript know the type of this object, and here beautifully TypeScript inferring the type. So that means intelligently it judges the type of this object to be an object that has a property X, and that property X has type number. This is the value of using TypeScript in our code, guys. So as you can see on our right, it's just pure JavaScript still. We don't see any errors. Of course, it's be errored when you run in the application, but guys, look at the beauty of this left hand side. We pretty much got all the hints we want at compile time thanks to TypeScript. We didn't do anything at all. We just wrote same exact JavaScript code, but since this editor got tooling from TypeScript, it knows what's going to happen here. Right guys, so let's fix the code. Super easy. What we have to do is we need a property called foo. So what we can do is it's a function, so it's an object, same JavaScript. So let's give it a name, and for now let's give it an empty implementation. So line 6 is happy now, and then let's fix line 8. So we need a bar property, and it's a number. So what we can do is let's assign something for now, a number. So that's it, guys. So now we got code fixed, and as you can see, the number 10 is a valid case. We can't fix it because it says, unless of course we assign an object with the same type, the string is not assignable to type X number foo bar. Because TypeScript inferring the type of this, as you can see, object is the shape of X number, and a function, and bar which has the type number. This is the value, guys. So now we have compile time type safety, and there is a no chance that we can assign object bar a string, because TypeScript already inferred the type that bar is a number based on the object we defined. So if we try to go and change it to a string at compile time, we get the feedback. So it's super cool, guys. So we can see this is on your left we have the TypeScript, and we have on right we have JavaScript. It's pretty much same code, but extra bit we are getting here for nothing. We didn't make any changes, type inferred. Now we can go extra step, guys. Now what we can do is we can go here and we can see the shape of the object, and we can copy it, and we can give it a name, and we can use interface keyword, and let's give it a name, just random. And now we have a type, and we can take this type and tag object. So we definitely know now this object is type of random. And the good thing is, guys, every time we go and see this object, it shows the type and also the properties. So if we go here, since now TypeScript has more information about the type, so if we try object dot, we'll get the auto completion as well. It's super cool, guys. So I hope you got the idea of the value we are getting from JavaScript. So rather than we think in terms of what's the difference between JavaScript and TypeScript, I think you can see by this example we did, it's more about what we can gain from TypeScript and it's pretty much extra some syntax that gives us really powerful value. And sometimes, as we start in this example, we didn't have any syntax at all. We just use JavaScript as it is. But since the tooling is integrated, we got a great feedback. And guys, as we go along, we derive a type, or we define a type called random by simply copying the inferred type. And now we can do extra modification if needed. And now it's super cool. We can tag a variable using that type. And not only that, if you had a function, we can tag the parameters, and we can tag the return type. So many things we can do. So guys, I hope you got the idea now. If you are a JavaScript programmer like me and coming to TypeScript, this is how we should look at it. So that psychological thinking, or how we look at this TypeScript, is very, very important. So I suggest you to ask all the time, what's the value it gives us, rather than we are trying to have a comparison between two languages. Because at the end of the day, guys, we are still using JavaScript after compilation when you're running the code. So probably it's not the right question looking at what's happening behind the scene. So the better perspective would be, we start with our JavaScript code and try to improve it step by step. Like we derived the interface here, we can do many things. We can use types, we can use generics, we can use classes, so many powerful syntax there. But it's always good to start where we can and improve step by step. Alright guys, I think it's time to conclude this video. I hope you got something out of this video. So thank you for watching, and we'll catch up in another video. Some more fun stuff for JavaScript programmers coming to TypeScript. Cheers guys.